Yo, we live, right?
Yes.
I think we are. Oh, what's up, guys? The Paradox Nerd here, hosting tonight, and with me is Jason, the Superman from the waist down. What's up? What's going on, Jason?
Yeah, it's going well, guys. Not so sunny Sydney here today. Man, like, geez, first second day of winter, had to shave, couldn't beat Alex Thomas in the beard department. So, congrats, Alex, you beat me, bro. Had to get rid of it. So, you win, champ. Who else we got today, PJ?
So, with me is my other dark side Sith Lord. Dark side Darth Castle. What's going on, man? How's it going?
What's happening?
Yeah.
It's your man in the Death Star. You know, we just chilling and everything. I'm missing my boy Rodney. He moving today, so you know I gotta hold it down by myself. So we just Darth no castle today. Holla.
I know. Shout out to Rodney. We miss you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And we got a straight back from the Force realm, the Force ghost himself. Chris, Jedi Chris, welcome back, man. It's good to have you back.
Good to have you back, my brother.
Hey, Wakanda, everybody, Wakanda. All right, I'm saying.
What's going on, guys? How's everybody today, man? How's Happy Friday? What's going on with you guys, man? How's everyone's week?
Oh, the week.
Cheers.
Well, the week was a bit hectic, but you know, the weekend's here now. The weekend,
that's all that matters.
Yeah, man. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for this weekend. I'm ready to rock out with my. Anyway, we're gonna start off with a topic. Our first topic. We'll be discussing the Prime 1 quarter scale premium masterline GI Joe Scarlet. What do you guys think about this awesome statue that Prime 1 is announced? Let's start off with you, Jason. What do you guys think about this? Jason, what do you think about this statue?
Look, honestly, the initial statue didn't wow me that much. I mean, I'm not a big G.I. Joe fan to start off with, but look, I've got to appreciate the pose and the base and everything. But what really sells it for me is the exclusive head sculpt. That's more the Scarlet that I know. The shorter head, like the one that looks like she's got short hair. I know she's got a ponytail. But I just like, it's not much difference, but I just like the way that it accentuates the face a bit more. And I've also noticed, I think, so it looks like the other one, she's got more hazel eyes, like greenish hazel, whereas the other one, she's got the blue eyes. I like the greenish hazel one more.
Okay. Thor, what do you think of this statue?
I like this. I'm a big G.I. Joe fan from way back, and you know, I was excited to see this because, you know, usually we just see Snake Eyes and, you know, mostly it's Snake Eyes and a whole bunch of Cobra people. You know what I mean? So now, you know, we starting to see Scarlet. I believe they announced a while ago that Lady J is coming too or something like that. And I was happy to see that the Destro statue, because Destro's always been a character, you know. I wish I could get these, man. I really do, but it's just, you know, I don't think I could. I know I would want more than just one. That Serpento one would look sick, but I mean, as far as this one goes, I like the look of it. You know, I think Jason's right. The longer hair is what looks more the Scarlet that we used to, and then you know the crossbow they kind of modernized it a little bit. You know, but I'd like to see a Stalker as well, even though he really, you know, after like the first season he really wasn't on there. But this looking good to me. Yeah, I'm really impressed.
Chris, what's your thoughts on the new Scarlet statue?
What I like about it is they took the action figure, you know, back they have the old one, right? Then you have the new one, and now they've morphed it into. She looks very realistic. I love how the detail, the muscle tone and all that stuff. I mean, granted, yeah, still a statue and all that, but I like how they really made her come alive, and to me, that's just awesome. And I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan too. Since the 80s, yeah, I get it. But you seen this, you're like, wow, what's coming next? You know, so I think that's really cool. She's a strong female role model, and what's coming next, and I'm excited. So, you know, would I have that statue in my house? Yeah, if wife will let me. But yeah, hey, moving on. What do you guys, what do you guys think?
Well, just my questions to you guys is that for me, or just really quick, I'm going to touch on this statue real quick. I mean, I don't really collect the GI Joe line. Obviously, it's just too much room to take up, and it's a little bit expensive to collect all of them. I would love to, but I'm concentrating on Star Wars right now and a little bit of Marvel. But she looks great, and I'm still waiting for that moment in time where Prime One does a Star Wars line, and I'm on that like white and rice. Yeah. And but with that being said, I think she looks great. She turned out really great. I love the swap out holster, the weapons, the heads. I feel like that's something like a lot of statue companies should be doing so that they can add more value to the statue, especially since now they're charging like an average price of like $550 to like $1,000 for a statue. So really liking it. I've been a GI Joe fan for since I was like 5, and what I would like them to see, what I would like to see them do is I don't know, like Lady Jane. I know they announced, so I'm really happy with that. So that out of all of them, I think Lady Jane was my favorite one that I wanted them to do, or even Cobra Commander. If they do a Cobra Commander, I might consider that being my first GI Joe statue. But Jason, what do you, in terms of the line and what you would like to see as a character being done in the GI Joe line? Any character that comes to mind?
Lady Jane, of course. I'm with Thor on that one. Need the Lady Jane. But look, Cobra Commander too. Look, it's an iconic character. Anyone, as soon as you see that head's the mask and that he wears, you know who it is straight away. But yeah, look, I grew up on the G.I. Joe cartoons and stuff like that as a kid too. So I do like G.I. Joe. It's just that it's not a line that I collect. But one thing you did mention was with all the swap outs and stuff like that, it's the way that they're all going now. I mean, even Sideshow, if you look at the Green Arrow, like the amount of extras you get with him, you get the extra glove and the extra head. XM Studios has been doing it for ages with like the 3 head sculpts, art print, and swap out arms and different poses and stuff like that. So, but I mean, like really, probably who started it was PCS. I'd say most of their early stuff with the exclusive ones, you actually got like nearly 3 statues in one. So. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it.
Thor, is there anything that comes to mind that you, in terms of a character that you want them to do, or?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of them. My 2 of them I'd really like to see. I'd like to see Zartan. I'd like to see Firefly. Firefly was my favorite character out of the whole thing. Yeah. Far as the Joes go, nobody ever made a Duke. I'd like to see. I'd like to see Flint. I'd like to see Roadblock. You know what I mean? It's so many roads they could go. You know what I mean? But definitely the Dreadnoughts. It was so many Joes. But the I don't know, Shipwreck. Nah, I don't know. I wouldn't never.
I don't know about Shipwreck.
Yeah, but I say Flint, Duke definitely, and Zartan, and I'm really hoping they make a Firefly. That was my favorite character. So yeah.
How about you, Chris? Anything that you want them to do, or?
Oh yeah, come on now. I mean, we have Spirit, aka Tracker, the Native American guy that had the awesome eagle and was an expert sniper. I really, when they came out with that action figure back, and I want to say it's like 1982, 1983 time frame. So I'm sure somebody's gonna badger me on that time frame, but. Just so you guys know, I have 2 original ones in my office, plus the 3 variations that came out in the new millennia in my office, and they're amazing. So I would like to see him as a statue. And if we want to go into, I know we talked about Destro, we talked about Cobra Commander, but they had some other characters. I'm trying to think of their name right now. So we already talked about Zartan, which I think was amazing. A guy that turns blue when the sun hits him. And he had a whole crew of folks that were
talking about the Baroness.
Oh, Baroness.
Yeah.
Would be awesome. I think she would be amazing, especially because of the movie. I mean, I think the movie was far better.
Hands down, that was the best part about the movie, Chris.
Oh,
I'm not going to argue that. But anyway, I'm saying better than the cartoon series I used to watch every day, along with Mask, Mobile Armored Strike Command, and those other cartoons. But yeah, you already mentioned Duke, and Duke was one of those guys that he was a strong, silent leader that motivated everyone, but didn't have to tell people what to do. He kind of made sure everyone didn't go outside their swim lane, so to speak. And to me, I think Duke would be a huge honor to make a statue of him. As far as bad guys, I mean, there's so many. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think Tracker or Spirit Tracker, depending on how they label him, I think he needs to be there. I think Baroness should be a statue format. And then there's that one, I'm trying to think of the name right now. It'll come to me like after we're done, right? But,
one more thing before we go. Something I didn't think about that they never really tried. They should try to make some of the Cobra officers like some of the Crimson Guard, maybe the Vipers.
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
That would be pretty sick. Nobody ever tried to do that before. You know what I mean? So that would be slick. Or even some of the people from Cobra La from the cartoon movie, like Nemesis Enforcer or Globulus, the guy that Burgess Meredith did the voice for and everything. So that's something different. You never know. I don't know if some of these newer fans might not know about it, but us old heads, have seen the cartoon movie. We know what's up.
Oh, I love that cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Wait, do you guys remember the yell? Cobra.
La, 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 yeah.
La, 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 la,
Yeah.
Yeah, very Taliban-ish. Yes. Yeah. In hindsight.
All right, so moving on, we're actually going to touch on the XM Studios. Well, XM Studios announced the 1/6 line, and they were teasing us throughout the whole week with some pictures of the Flash, Wonder Woman. Just want to touch base on that. What do you guys think of that? The announcement of the 1/6 line.
It's okay. Want me to go first?
Yeah. Sorry. I was like, "What's that?" So, Jason, Thor. Actually, let's start off with you.
I think Jason gonna be holding up a few 7-Elevens, trying to buy some of all these statues coming out. The Aquaman, I think, is my favorite one out of all of them. Me, I don't know. Shoot me, whatever. I know Rodney always like his Aquaman with a beard and the hook on his hand. I always like this Aquaman here, with the clean, look, because I guess back when I used to watch Super Friends, that's what he looked like, you know what I mean? So that's all. The Flash looks really sick. I hadn't seen it until right before we went on. And Jason's like, man, you seen that Flash? I was like, nah, and it really, really looks special. The Wonder Woman, pretty much the way we see a Wonder Woman these days with a shield and a sword and the armor and stuff on. So I think it's looking great. I just really wish it was quarter scale, and then I could go for one or two of them, but it's 6 scale. I'm trying to stay away from 1/6 scale, but it's looking good.
Jason, what do you think of the new XM Studios 1/6 line? Is that
man,
something you would collect?
Actually, yeah. Look, they've got a worldwide license for it for starters now, so you don't have to go through any backdoor sellers or anything like that. You can actually order direct from their website. You'll probably find, like here in Australia, places like Pop Culture and Zing will probably pick them up as well. I know that Zing probably will because and that's a division of EB Games, which is GameStop in America. So you probably see the same sort of thing there. Reason being, look, they supported Iron Studios and stuff like that when they first started doing their 1/6 and 1/10 and stuff like that. So I can't see why not. And this is a big market, and I'm glad that DC gave them the license for this because, I mean, if the statues end up anything like this concept art, like this Aquaman that they announced last night, my time, this morning, your guys' time, is absolutely amazing. I mean, look at the detail. Yeah. Right, even though it does remind me a bit of the Robot Chicken special where, Aquaman summons the army of seahorses. But look, it's pretty good. I mean, the Flash with the cosmic treadmill, man, that is. I'd love to see this in quarter scale. If 6 scale is all I can get, yeah, I'll definitely be getting it. And the Wonder Woman, I love it. Probably won't get it because I've got the quarter scale premium format, the new one coming in later on in the year. So And in my mind, it's just a little similar, you know. But look, it's as Rodney said, classic sculpt. Love the pieces. I think that it's just pretty awesome. I mean, like Jeff Morris loves the seahorse on the Aquaman. We know Rick Shaw, mate. You've already going to get that Wonder Woman. I'm sure that's going to be on the cards, brother. But yeah, what about the rest of you guys? PJ, what do you reckon?
For me, I went all right. So without saying, like, I didn't see the picture of Aquaman on the seahorse, and you told me like, hey, PJ, like, they're really XM Studios releasing Aquaman on the seahorse. I'm like, are you for real? Like, seahorse? But seeing the picture, that seahorse is badass. Holy crap!
It is badass. I mean, that's a pretty well armored seahorse.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would never thought a seahorse could look so badass in my life. So that's pretty cool. You know what? I love the fact that statue companies are addressing the issues of space and money. And the fact that they are going smaller, and I'm guessing it has to be cheaper than their quarter scale line. So, I mean, that's an easy guess. But
well, they haven't put a price tag out yet. What I'm thinking, go 1.6. A lot of the good 1.6, which obviously these aren't. I mean, if you're going to go by like Iron Studios pricing for their 1/10, and I'm using Australian dollars here, so for you Americans, 75% of what I'm saying. But I reckon you're probably looking around the $200 mark. You know, Australian, so about 180, 170 US.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's great, especially for me. I'm running out of space in my man cave, so that's why I've been leaning a little bit towards Hot Toys now, just because they're space savers and you get to collect like the characters that you want. Now with XM Studios, and I hope other statue companies follow suit, is that going 1/6 allows you to display it in a DTOF. You know, you could put like a whole bunch of characters in one like shelf, which is great, you know, and you collect the characters that you want without, you know, risking space and money. And I think it's great, and I love it. I love the Flash. I loved Wonder Woman, and I hope they, you know, consider doing more characters, more you know, more lines, more licenses in this scale. Chris, what do you think of this announcement?
No, I think it's great. I mean, let's look at, you already mentioned it, but it's all about size. And if you make it more affordable for people are going to buy more. So that, to me, that's a nice strategic move on a company scale. But when you're talking about space, you know, I live in Southern California, and space is a precious commodity out here. So if you want to have a nice display like Jason has behind him, I mean, you're going to have a place to do that. And I mean, here I am in my living room with a backdrop. You know, that tells you just how, you know, small places are in Southern California. I'm sure it's smaller in New York and all that other stuff, but you want to be able to display your passion, your hobby, the things you like, people you want to resonate to, the heroes that made you who you are today. And that, to me, is huge. So I think XM is very smart doing this. I mean, I've seen some of the photos. Again, you don't see a whole lot of female role models. So I thought with the whole new rendition of Wonder Woman, I mean, how awesome is that? You know, so, you know, I've got a lot of nieces, and I want them to, you know, have somebody they can aspire to. So, you know, again, I'm probably the oldest guy in the group, so I'm thinking like a dad and an uncle. But you know, smaller scale means more opportunity, more efficacy of space, and more turning your shelves into a diorama, as opposed to, well, you can rotate your stock like we do now with the bigger stuff. So yeah, so I think that's great. And I am a huge, you guys know this, I'm an action figure nerd. So 3 3/4 scale is how I started at age 4 back in 1977. Anyway, moving on. And
the year I was born, Chris.
Yeah, so the smaller the better, so you can display more. You know, that's kind of where I'm at, because I could do a whole scene as opposed to just 2 statues. You know, so that's kind of where my head's at. But I love all this stuff. Every scale is just amazing. Yeah. And because of you guys, I'm spending lots of money. So thank you.
You know, I just want to, like, you know, like piggyback of what Chris said, and it's just space is such a and money with statues being core scale. Even like you see, like the average price of it now is like $575 to $600. Sometimes you try to reach out to the XM Studios quarter scale line, that's pretty expensive, or Prime One. For me, I have my man cave, right? And my wife doesn't want me to go beyond that and spend more money trying to go beyond that. Meaning, like, I have to get storage unit or, basically something to store my statues, and that's money. And I feel that that's something that, like, especially with a storage space, I think Rodney and I were talking about it, was that like, was it like $50 to like $100 a month? If you multiply it by 12 months, that's a lot of money. That equals to like another statue. So for me, that's something like a 1/6 scale line where you could kind of collect the characters that you want to collect. Really helps out a collector. And I think Iron Studios is going that route with the 1/10 scale line, like, with the Infinity War statues, the Black Panther. So I just hope that Sideshow decides to do something along those lines. I know they have the 1/5 scale line with like the He-Man, and I think they did the dioramas and stuff. So hopefully in the near future, Sideshow goes that route. What do you think, Jason?
Well, I think in a way they already have. I mean, when you look at the ones like I can put it, the Guardians of the Galaxy line that they did, how all the bases interlock to form that diorama.
Yeah,
that they're doing. Now, a lot of people at first, when they first started coming in, were like, "What the hell is this base with the little blue shard crystals?" But I wasn't even aware until I saw a photo recently of someone in their collection. They've actually interlocked them all together, and it looks perfect. I'm like, "Oh, now it makes sense why it was so jagged and all over the place and didn't make any sense when you saw them individually." But yeah, I mean, look, I just love that line. I think, XM are onto a winner here, and they may actually start getting more worldwide licenses for more of their product, and that's just a win for us. And Jeff Morris was saying too, regarding them, about the size of the bases. Knowing XM, they put as much work into their bases as they do their statues. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a pretty big base.
Yeah. Thor, just really quick, if you want to touch on like the 1/6 scale line, I know you collect the quarter scale. Is 1/6 eventually something that you look into?
Well, I actually am a big fan of 1/5. I know a lot of people are not fans of 1/5, but after collecting the Mythos line, I think 1/5 is like the perfect size. You can get 3 of them in a DTOF or whatever, and it's still like a good size statue. You know what I mean? I don't know why people aren't big on 1/5 scale. I wish we had a lot more 1/5 scale size statues. But 1/6, I got a few Bowens, and they're 1/6 scale. They're great. But the thing is, I like these. They look great and everything. I want a Green Lantern, so I want to see what the Green Lantern looks like. I do want a Batman in my collection. I still haven't found one that I'm really in love with. That's reasonably priced. So if they come out with one that's decent, and do a great job like XM usually does, then yeah, I might think about getting it. So we'll see. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. No, not at all.
I totally agree with you. I don't know what's with the hate with the 1/5 scale line.
Yeah.
I think it's, to me, it's like a perfect size.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally. And
people are always going to find something to whinge about, PJ.
I know. But the Hulk versus Wolverine, and Jason, I know you have that statue, that maquette. Mm-hmm. That's a 1/5 scale. Yeah. And to me, that's has the presence, and I hope that Sideshow does more of the dioramas along, in that scale. The He-Man, the Skeletor, those are 1/5 scale, and I love those statues. So I don't know. We'll see. Because for me, as I'm slowly getting more statues in, I'm running out of space, man. And I'm trying to avoid a storage space. If I have to go to storage space, I don't know. My wife might cut off my balls, but we shall see.
far as the storage space goes, if you're storing your statues, you're not displaying them. It's like, why even have them? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. I have a friend that has a storage space, and he's got tons of statues. I mean, that's great and all, but I have 3 kids, so I can't afford a storage space. $100 a month or $150, depending on the size. I mean, to me, that's just money going out the window that could be going towards
PJ,
another statue.
Us statue collectors, we have 2 main problems: which street corner to work on to afford our statues, and how much we can display them.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad that there are companies that are considering this. That's all I'm saying. So, all right, moving forward, I think we have to touch on the quarter scale Shogun Batman. If Jason could bring that up for us.
Up?
So I don't know. What do you guys think about this statue? Jason, since you're the resident DC guy.
Easy pass for me. I mean, we were talking about this off camera before, and Thor brought up a valid point. He goes, if it didn't have that Batman symbol on it, you wouldn't even know it was Batman. So, yeah, not a big fan. I mean, I think it's aimed more towards the Oriental markets, where they're after, more of that samurai sort of stuff and that. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to do too well. Well, I think this is one you'll see in the bargain basement bins relatively soon.
Thor, what do you think of this?
I mean, it as a piece, it looks great. I mean, the armor, all the plates, individual and detail. I mean, it looks great. But like, as me and Jason were talking, if you didn't have the Batman symbol on the armor and on the helmet, you wouldn't even know if it was Batman. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm more of a fan of the samurai piece that they did, because you can kind of switch it up. You can make it look kind of like Beyond or modern Batman, or if you wanted the samurai look, you could do that. But this one, I like the way it look. I like the look of it. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't be something I would pick up.
Chris, what do you think of
Well,
this?
if you change the face and paint it black and put a glowing chest piece on it, you've got the Darth Vader going on samurai. So I mean. So I've seen a lot of versions, of the samurai motif. I think it's great. It's just not my style.
When are we going to get a Jedi Batman?
What's that?
When are we going to get a Jedi Batman?
Yeah, it's like Han Solo with a cloak. Whatever. It's all good. So, it's neat. I think the detail is awesome. I have to agree with Thor on that one. But yeah, for the most part, would I buy that? No. But if somebody had it in their house and they're like, "Hey, check this out," I'm gonna geek out too, because seeing it live as opposed to seeing it in the 2D on the screen, it's gonna be amazing. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's just not something I would go out and buy. No, because I've seen all the Star Wars ones, and I'm not buying those anytime soon. No.
Yeah, just for me, this is a definite pass. I just feel that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of tired of Batman. Oh my gosh, how many Batmans are out there?
Oh, come on, man! Batman statue collector won't be happy with that comment.
I know, but still, that's just my opinion. Like, come on, man! Like, do something else. Like. What's next? Pacific Islander Batman or
Batman on holiday? Batman on
Western
holiday, suntanning himself.
Batman on holiday. Like, come on! There's so many renditions of Batman.
Tactical Robin. Ooh, samurai with a surfboard. Woo!
I don't know. I'm sorry. It's just I love Batman, but this character is just being overplayed. It's just too much.
What Chris just said there too, man. Like. Did you see that Samurai Batman animated film? Because if they make a Robin out of that, then they got rocks in their head.
Well, I didn't watch I didn't watch the movie, but I heard my friends did, and
I got about 15 minutes in, and nah.
I heard it sucks. All right, Sideshow's doing their rendition of a Gotham Nightmare Batmans, and I'm just tired of it. I know DC is. I don't know. In terms of lines, I think that's probably the cheapest license to get out of all the licenses, compared to Marvel and Star Wars. but I'm just you know, do something else. I want to see more Mr. Freeze. I'm not saying like be done with DC. I want to see more characters out of the DC line. There's more characters, right?
Oh, there's a pantheon of the gods. I mean, we're still waiting for a Shazam. So
Shazam, thank you. I mean, Green Lantern. I'd rather see him more. I mean,
quarter scale Barry Allen Flash. You know, like geez.
Exactly. Jeez, give us that. Like I don't know. I know.
I mean,
I'm
they gave us Satana. They've given us Satana recently.
Penguin.
Yeah,
Penguin.
Two-Face.
Two-Face.
Ra's al Ghul.
Apache Chief. Unique Chuck.
Oh yeah.
No, you're showing your age today, Chris.
I know.
Here's one I need a Black Manta. That's one I want to see.
Yes, thank you.
100%. I'm with you. With you, Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just done with Batman. I mean, I just I just see too much of it and too many versions of it. I'm just to the point where I'm like, dude, come on now.
Turn your sound down, Batman statue collector. Turn the sound down, bro.
Yeah, just look away. look the other way, Batman statue collector. I'm sorry, man. It's just too. I mean, too much.
It's all right. He's not watching.
I know, Chris.
I know,
Chris. I mean, what do you think? Take it away, Chris. What do you think about this whole fiasco with Batman? I'm tired of Batman.
No, I really like Batman. I like everything. I like the whole story. So
the diplomacy of Chris, I love it.
Yeah. I like to see different characters. I agree with you guys. I mean, there's only so many versions and poses of Batman you can do before you. Okay, well, those that are Batman statue collectors, okay, great. I have every version, but how about we marry it up with villains and sidekicks that enhance the statue itself, and maybe depending on the base it is, making the other characters next to it with a similar base. So now you've created a diorama of different characters, so you can pose them in however you want to display them on your shelf or what have you. So that's something to think about, in my opinion. You can make villains, sidekicks, Justice League, all doing something similar base.
I still want to see a JSA line.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Let's just let's turn the tide here a little bit. Thor. Now, if you saw Darth Vader being done in many different versions, like a samurai version, a ghost version, a ninja version,
Darth Vader, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they just keep doing over and over again. Like, would you at some point say, all right, that's it, I'm done with Darth Vader, man? Like, that's enough.
See, I'm there now, really, because the problem I've always had, I love him to death, but he's only had one look. So it's like, it's so many ways you can do Vader, and then that's really it. One thing I'm waiting for them to do that I will buy, if they ever do him in the meditation chamber, that's guaranteed day one. I don't give a shit about no edition size or none of that mess. Mm-hmm. If they make him in the meditation chamber, I'm getting it. But other than that, he's a bad example because he doesn't, like, Batman's got like 50 outfits. You know what I mean? Vader, just one look. Unless you're talking about, when he was Anakin and then becomes Vader. So yeah, I wouldn't buy no samurai Vader or nothing. I want him. This is Mythos is about as lucrative as I can get with him. You know what I mean? But yeah, no samurai Vaders for me, no.
Yeah, I mean, like, same with Boba Fett. So he's got the one same look, but I don't see myself buying like a Western Boba Fett or a ninja Boba Fett or a samurai Boba Fett. I'm sorry, man. Like, I want to see other characters in the Star Wars line. Like, when, I don't know, I'm going, Jason, just what do you think about this? Do you think Batman is just overplayed at this point, or do you think that it's not?
Look, as long as they make money, they're going to keep making Batman. I can't believe that there's that many Batman collectors out there. Chris, you've got a lot of competition, brother. But yeah, and hey, Charles Carrose has just walked into the chat. G'day,
Charles. What's
up, brother?
What's going on?
Yeah, but look,
Carol, happened a while, man.
Happy Friday, man.
I want to
Long
see.
time-
I want to see things like what Jeff Morris was just saying there. I want to see a Dr. Fate. I want to see more JSA characters. I want to see more old school characters.
Mhm.
I love that certain companies are taking gambles with different lines. For example, who were we doing the other week? They've now released Prime One. You know, they've done their Hush line. Now they're doing the Kingdom Come. Like, geez, man, you know, like that was my collecting dream. That's why I got into the Superman that I've got behind me and that, because I love he looks more like Kingdom Come rather than the Superman you get in the comics of today. But yeah, with Batman, he does get a bit overdone, but hey, people keep buying and they use that to fund their other projects. So I really don't have a problem with it because I'm not going to buy them, so it's no skin off my nose. But yeah, you know, like, what do you reckon, PJ?
I mean, like I mentioned before, like it's just one of those things. Like I'm done with. I love Batman. Out of all the DC characters, Batman is like my favorite character. But I'm like, come on now, like let's try to do something else.
More Superman.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think there's more Batman statues than Superman,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at this point,
But Batman's
come on.
changed his look a lot more over the years than what Superman has. So
Yeah, but still, come on now. Just there's other villains and heroes in the DC universe like you could touch upon.
If they ever make that Earth 2 Superman, I'm getting that right up. That's my favorite Superman, the one from Kingdom Come.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, he's coming, Thor. He's coming.
Oh, done. Then that's easy.
Yeah,
like that Sosa one. I always wanted that custom one, but they want too much cake for that one.
Yeah.
All right, like beating a dead horse. I don't want to beat this topic. Them beating into this creating more
Yeah, we don't want to turn it
DC
into a Wonder Woman
Batman
on a horse
statue.
We don't want to turn it into a Wonder Woman on a horse thing.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's move on. We're gonna move on to the Sideshow Mystique announcement. What do you guys think about this new reveal by Sideshow and the way she looks and everything? Starting off with Chris. Let's do this, bad boy.
Well, I tell you, I mean, I've read a lot of Marvel comics in my day, and we're talking back when the print had little tiny circles, and you open up the book and all that. Now it's all very smooth and the graphics are very refined. But Mystique was always one of those characters that she was really awesome, but she did her thing here and there, and the movies really made her more awesome. And of course, the new comic books have really pinpointed that. But to see her in that pose, I mean, beside the eyes, I mean, it looked very realistic. We're talking about the muscle definition, the creases in her costume, and all that. It looked very real. And of course, when you get to the eyes, of course, it looks very comic book like. But I liked, and I know a lot of people don't like that one per se, but I just thought they really spent a lot of time in the detail about her pose and the muscle tone and like every aspect of her body was showing she's getting ready to do something, and I liked it. I thought Mystique was one of those unsung villains, that anti-hero / villain that I think Marvel could do a lot more with. And I liked how Disney kind of played with that during the movies, old and the prequel renews. So now I'm curious what you guys think, but I think that'd be a statue that would look really cool, in the house, especially with a gambit of folks around her. Not Gambit, but everybody else, and maybe Gambit too. But anyway, they're throwing it out there. So, PJ, what do you think? Sorry, Thor, PJ, you guys shoot. Sorry.
This one, I'm not gonna focus on what I don't like. Leaves off the bat. I like the flow of the dress. The base is a little plain. And I know Rodney's not gonna like it because she's got pistols in her hands. He was saying that she had guns, and he wasn't. She's not big on my character list as far as statue wise. I always thought she was cool because she can change. I think it would be an idea if somebody could make it like you could see with one of her hands morphing or something like that. But I don't know. The head wise, I kind of like the hair and everything better on the XM. The base I like better on the XM, but this one, I don't know. This to me, I think I'd have to pass on this one. It just doesn't. It just doesn't wow me that much. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Jason, what do you think?
Look, I like it, but there is, as Thor's pointed out, there's certain things that doesn't really appeal to me. Now, I've seen some comments of people. Oh, she looks like a man, and man, if that's your impression of what a man looks like, then mate, you're in the wrong game. But the one thing I don't like, and I still can't wrap my head around, the pistols look like revolvers. I've never seen revolvers with silencers on them, you know. So that's a new thing. My one main hope for this one is that it's going to basically drop the price of the original one, where she's standing on the base of skulls, maybe a little bit. Maybe someone will want to trade out for the new one or something like that. But yeah, I think this is one that not going to be on my radar to purchase. What about you, PJ?
Oh man, when I first saw this, I thought of a Deadite from Evil Dead. What the hell is wrong with her face, man?
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, yeah,
she looks like a Deadite.
But
all I could picture is I'll swallow your soul. Like, come on, man. Like, what the heck? Like, come on. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the hair or the facial expression. And I don't know. All right, so here's my thoughts. And I'm not sure if anyone will agree with me on this one. How about a Mystique when she's like half changing or half, changing into another character, How cool would that be when she's like half of it's like, like slowly like morphing into like I don't know, like a Cyclops or yeah, like right? Because she's change.
I don't see why not. If you ever seen the Bowen Super Scroll where he's got like a flaming arm and one part's like the thing hand, they could do it. I don't see why not.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that would be such a unique statue, and I would be on that like white on rice. But I'm on a diet right now, so I'm not gonna go there. But seriously, like
2-minute noodles for you, PJ.
Yo, I'm on a keto diet, man. I'm a keto Filipino. That's my nickname. But basically, I don't know. That's just me. I just feel like there's something wrong with her face, and this is a definite pass for me. And also, what Jason pointed out is that there's silencer on a revolver. How is that even possible? So I don't know. Back to the drawing board for this one, in my opinion.
I believe so.
All right. Well,
they might have to pull Magneto on this.
Yeah, exactly. But what else are we going? Oh yeah, Shadowy reveals of the new villains DC premium formats. What do you guys think of that? Like, I know there was like a picture online about like the latest reveals of sideshows, like DC line. With the there you go with the Green Arrow, and you see Mr. Freeze in the background, and what do you guys think about this line, the pictures and stuff? Starting off with Jason, we have to go with the DC resident.
Oh, mate, look, I really like it. I mean, I was a bit concerned about the size of what Doomsday would be, but now that I've actually seen him in scale, like comparison to the other ones that we've seen, I'm bloody picture changing again. Uh-huh. But like, we know sort of how big Poison Ivy's going to be, and we've got a good indication of how big Catwoman's going to be. Mr. Freeze is looking about the right size. It's good they're going that armored route rather than the so they're looking, I wouldn't say Arkham version, but more modern comic version of Mr. Freeze. Same with the Catwoman. But Doomsday looks like they're going classic, just from the way the bony protrusions and that are. I mean, that's how I remember him. I mean, I wish we'd get a nice closer look at his face, because if they've got the one across the forehead there and that exactly like the comic and that, it's going to be awesome, because that was my only thing with the Prime one. It was big, it was impressive, it's a magical piece, and if you've got it, congratulations. I'm not knocking the piece in any way, shape, or form, but I'm really a stickler for my comic book accuracy, and that's what I'm hoping out of this. And with the Supergirl, not really still sold on the Supergirl. I want to wait and see more about what it's like when she comes out. But that John Stewart, absolutely amazing. And I've seen Green Arrow in person, and he's a definite pre-order day one for me. But what do you reckon, Thor?
Far as these go, like I said before in the past show, Green Arrow, that's sold for me. You know, now Mr. Freeze, I can't wait to see. I'm hoping he's got like the goggles and stuff on underneath the helmet. And again, I want to see some ice and snow and everything on the base. And fingers crossed we see a Nora in there somewhere, you know, not to copy off of the Prime 1 version. I really wish I could get Doomsday, but I don't think I'm be able to swing it because too much other stuff going on, you know. But I would like to see, you know, I got a feeling Rodney might mess around and get it, so I'll be able to see it anyway. So, you know what I mean? And, but they're looking good so far, but those are the ones I'm really interested in. Would be Green Arrows, that's a lock. Mr. Freeze, almost a lock. I just got to see how it looks first. But Doomsday, I wish I could get it, but I don't think I can. But yeah, other than that, that's for me. Those are my top three.
Chris, what do you think of this line and anything that catch your eye?
Well, you know, we already kind of touched on it. They've hit a lot of Batman and a lot of the main characters, like in different poses and different situations. And I feel like even though I didn't get to see a whole lot of detail in the photos I did see, I feel like they're branching out, and I think they're doing it very slowly and conservatively. I agree. You know, I would like to see some of the more vintage style, you know, comic characters. I mean, I know Hollywood kind of spiced things up in the past, and then they come out with new renditions of the comic book, and they try to marry it up so there's some consistency and continuity of the story and the character base. But let's go back to the old stuff. Let's go back to what has been going on for several decades. And I feel really positive that, you know, this line takes off, that, you know, more stuff that you used to read back in the day, and even characters we forgot about. Because I know we were starting to talk about what we'd like to see, and I'm like, I know there's some as a kid. I'm like, I'd love to see that as an action figure, or now as an adult, you know, statue. So I feel like they are branching out. They're doing it slowly, and they're doing it conservatively. It's seeing what the folks want. But do I want to see more of the photographs. I want to see more detail, more 3D, 360-degree view. But for the most part, I think it's good. I mean, I think the Green Arrow looks great. I think again, I'm the positive guy. I go with that. But I feel like they're going in the right direction. And I'm very optimistic, very hopeful that we're going to see a lot more characters that were like, oh, my gosh. You know, like you said, Shazam, like, oh my gosh, look at that guy. He looks amazing. You know, so yeah, there's so many guys out there. And I know this is not DC, but, you know, it would be funny and cool. You know, we see Greatest American Hero as a statue, you know.
Oh, come my God, yeah.
Who didn't watch that show, right?
Believe it or not, I'm working on it.
Nobody knew that Jason could sing. He shaved off the mustache and his vocals are now clear. The filter is gone. What I'm saying is there's so many great episodes, moments in our lives that we've read the comic book, we've seen the TV shows, we resonated. We wanted to be like those folks, and to have that statue would be awesome. So I feel like we're branching, we're growing as far as what the companies are making for us, and I'm just so darn excited about what's next. I'm liking what we have now. What's the next step? So yeah, I'm eager. I'm like a junkie. I'm ready for that next, lack of a better term, high. What's next? What's coming? So yeah, I liked it. You know, what I saw, it looked pretty cool, but it wasn't enough to go, okay, I like it or dislike it. It was like, okay, I want to see more. I want to see more. So that's a Jedi Chris version of what I've seen so far. So anyway, so PJ, please take it away.
You know, like I mentioned before, I'm sick of Batman statues. Yeah. Well, there's no not Batman you, here. Batman. I'm not sick of Batman statue collector. I'm just sick of Batman statues. But just, you know,
that's
I love the
you
fact
said
that
before the show.
Yeah, we have to get him on the show. But I love the fact that they are branching out to like Green Arrow, you know, Doomsday, Mr. Freeze is something I'm looking forward to. But
Yes, sir.
I just want to point out real quick about Mr. Freeze that really kind of turned me off. Is the fact that the pose is the same pose as my Boba Fett premium format, where he's holding up his gun like that. If you take a closer look, it's almost the same pose, exact pose. I wish, I don't know if you guys could pull up a picture or.
But there's only so many poses they can do.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm gonna refer to Gentle Giant's Boba Fett, where he's like standing on I don't know what skull he's standing. Tauntaun.
Yeah.
That's an awesome pose, and I feel that they're cheaping out on recycling the poses. Like, come on, man! Like, look at the Mr. Freeze for Prime 1 from the Arkham line. That looks freaking amazing. That's such an awesome pose. I love the Catwoman that Sideshow has done. That's a pretty cool pose, and I think I'm considering picking that one up. I love the Poison Ivy pose.
Your wife's not going to let you get that, PJ.
I don't know. She'll see. I'll sneak that in.
I'm lucky because my wife wants it.
Good luck.
Babe, that's not a statue. That's a replacement part. But the Poison Ivy pose, that's pretty cool. And you know what? That's actually Susan Strange, aka Susan from Sideshow, actually did that pose. Helped the pose department do that pose. So that's a pretty cool pose. But Mr. Freeze, come on, man! Like, if I had Mr. Freeze and Boba Fett standing together, and someone walked in, it's like, what the hell? Why do they have the same pose? I don't know. That's just me nitpicking at this point. But I'm really excited the fact that they're branching off to different characters, different lines. And I think as statue collectors, as collectors, period, this is something we've been wanting for a very long time. That Green Arrow, hands down, that looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anyone else want to put in their thoughts before? I mean, what do you I don't know. What do you think about the poses, guys? I feel like they're always recycling the same pose. Well, I don't know.
Actually, it's not really so much the poses. I mean, look, someone mentioned, about the Green Arrow one, that it's like Hawkeye and stuff. But I mean, archers, what are they going to do? That sort of thing. How
about shooting up in the air?
Sexy with the bow behind their head or something like that. I mean, like these three here, I mean, the Supergirl one, it's the classic hero, the chest out sort of thing, but it's a dynamic pose, People complain that, there's too many of the museum poses. Now, you can't really say the same here either. I mean, like Ivy, Doomsday, and Catwoman, they're all in dynamic poses. The only one really in a museum pose is Mr. Freeze. But the one thing I do want to say is what I liked out of all this so far that we've covered today is notice how with XM, like they've just done their concept molds, all their concept 3D art, and they're prepared to release that to say, this is what we're doing. I wish other companies like Sideshow and that would do the same so we get a better idea. Because, I mean, we've seen so many things. How many times have you seen a picture of a statue and thought, oh, that looks crap? And then when it comes out, you go, oh, I've got to have it because it was absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the pose, I feel the pose adds to the presence of the statue. And to have, like, multiple characters in the same pose, i.e. Boba Fett. I know always referring to that, i.e. Boba Fett and Mr. Freeze. I don't know. I just feel like it's just such a cop-out, especially when we're paying this extra money. The statues are becoming more expensive. You want some uniqueness to the statue. You don't want to pay for the same pose. Tim from the pose department, do something else. I don't know. But yeah, let's move on from that. But anyone else? Thor, you have any things before we move on?
Well, that's why I love the XM Boba so much, because the pose is dynamic. And that's why the mall as well, dynamic pose. You don't see. I'm talking about the XM. You know what I mean? You don't see any mall that's out there like that. So as far as poses go, XM, they come out with they go out of the box, pretty much most of the time, as far as poses go. But some poses are, Sideshow is known for like repeating poses with stuff, or like, you know, you look at the Chewbacca is a perfect example. The old Chewbacca and the new one pretty much look exactly the same. They just got different bases.
What are you talking about? They are exactly the same. All
They
the
are
only
exactly
difference is
the
you
same,
don't get the
yeah.
same blaster as you get with the first one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, they just got to start thinking out of the box. I mean, just you got to use your imagination, you know what I mean, or else people gonna stop buying your stuff, you know.
Well, particularly if XM start getting worldwide licenses for their products. I mean, if they can do that and reduce the shipping costs, they're going to be up there with Prime One and the rest of the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I keep looking at the Ghost Rider in the back of Thor. You know, like look how amazing that is. See, look at the pose. Like that's just that adds. I'm telling you, the pose adds to the presence, you know, of the statue. Like I'm gonna say if I'm walking into Thor's room and he's got Mr. Freeze and Boba Fett. Do you think I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, that looks like such an awesome Mr. Freeze? But I'm looking at Boba, I'm like, wait a minute.
No, man, you can't get XM Ghost Rider for one simple reason: it detracts from the rest of the statues in your collection.
I know. I'm but like I said, like, you know, I feel like they need to step up their game with that. You got to be different. You know, you got to give us something that we, you know, like make our money's worth. So that when we buy a statue, we're like, damn, this is unique. This is awesome. It's worth every penny. Not like, oh, I'm a fan. I'm going to get it. It's something different. And then I'm like, well, I'm sick of it because it's the same pose as my Boba Fett. I don't know. I'm just ranting now, but all right, moving on. Anyone else before I move on to the... No?
Let's get into it. Thor. I'll let you, my brother, take it away. We've watched the season finale. What did you think?
Oh, it was.
Wait. I don't want to say something real quick. These guys, Jason and Thor, have been dying all episode to talk about Krypton. So, is there any spoilers?
Oh, this thing's laden with spoilers. If you're a fan of the show, you haven't watched that last one, turn away now. Thanks for watching, guys. But there's going to be spoilers in this one. How big was it? Thought you can't not.
Yeah, we've been telling y'all for 3 weeks to watch this thing. So if y'all worry about some spoilers, you show it. Yeah, this was a fantastic. I didn't even know it was. They didn't have it for now until Jason said something. But when I watched it, man, it is, and the end even leaves you. But the thing about it was, when I thought about it, I was like, well, how is this going to end? And they're going to continue this show. Like, you know, can't be a happy ending. You know, Krypton's destroyed. Either way, it was going to be something messed up for somebody. Either Krypton's destroyed and, you know, Superman ends up existing, or Krypton is saved and then there's no Superman. You know what I mean? So, you know, it ended up being the former, you know, so you can see where the show is going, and then General Zod is in there and look like he's taking over. And at the end, you know, because disclaimer, General Zod has always been my favorite Superman character. You know what I mean? So, man, at the end, you know, he gives you a famous line, you know, kneel before Zod and everything. And he's talking about expanding the Krypton Empire and everything. And, you know, meaning, you know, they want to come to Earth so they can all have powers and everything and just basically take over the universe. You know what I mean? But it was great. It was great. I'm not going to tell you how they got rid of Brainiac, but they got rid of him. And, you know, it's only thing questions, you know, who's going to be the main character going forward, because, you know, something happens to the main character, you know. But it was great. I'm glad Jason hit me up on this to watch it. It was a great show, and if you ain't watching it, you're missing out.
Oh yeah, if you ain't watching this, you have missed out. Now the best part is, look, and I've mentioned this to some people who started watching it. The first couple of episodes are a bit boring because they've got to get a lot of backstory out of the way. Because even the most hardened Superman fan, you know the history of Jor-El and Lara, but you don't know very much about like Segel and his other ancestors. And this goes back to a little bit before the well-known Kryptonian history with the Science Council that rules the planet and stuff like that. So Kandor was wasn't even really their capital; it was just their biggest city. At this point, you've got a lot of the city-states, and they're not aligned with each other. They're actually they're not. I wouldn't say they're at war, but they do their thing, you guys do your thing, and never the twain shall meet. They've got different political structures, different gods, everything, right? Very much like Earth of today. And so what ends up happening is after Zod saves Kandor, everyone knows Kandor's the bottle city that Brainiac steals. So he stops Brainiac from stealing that city and basically alters all of Krypton's history. No more will Krypton be destroyed. The first step that he takes is he steps a couple of 100 years forward into their future, where he basically unifies all the city-states under his rule. Reinstates the Science Council with himself at the head, of course, and basically is now expanding on a path of expansion. It's basically caused a lot of destruction through the rest of the galaxy, and that because of the deal that he makes to get rid of Brainiac. But look, the repercussions of it are you see the Superman cape come back, and you're like, wow, man, oh, cool, they've saved the day. And then as Zod takes over, the cape turns dark and red. The Superman symbol starts to change into the House of Zod, and you realize that Kal-El gets brought up as Kal-Zod. And is sent to Earth as basically his emissary. And you see a lovely big statue of Superman and Zod standing side by side in what I presume to be Metropolis. So, yeah, look, it's got massive ramifications for the entire DC universe. I know it's a different multiverse, and, you've got the Arrowverse and the other 52 universes and stuff like that. But for someone like me who's a Superman nerd, like, this show was awesome, and I can't wait until next year when it comes back.
Yeah, especially can't wait to see Vex and our girl Lyta come. Oh, yes. But... on a side note, one of my favorite characters, because me, again, I like cruddy individuals, C, Mum-Ra, and all these other people. But the voice of Rao had me cracking up through the whole, individuals like that that's just like bottom of the barrel, dirt individual people. They are funny. He was funny. You know what I mean? But, he was good and everything. But when he was messing with old girl's father and everything, he just had me cracking up, but he was good. The guy that played the voice of Rao. Yeah. Especially when Brainiac got a hold of him.
The one that did it for me was actually Dev M. Now, people that are right up there with the Superman history, and Dev M actually wasn't a Kryptonian in the comics. He was actually a Daxamite, and he was actually one of the worst criminals. They're cousins of the Kryptonians. They at one stage they formed a new planet, and over thousands of years their DNA changed slightly, and so they're a different race together. But he returned to Krypton, and he was actually part of that Black Zero terrorist organization, and he ended up being put in the Phantom Zone for years with Zod. And he's actually like one of the baddest of the bad sort of thing. He's actually like pretty much a serial killer. So it was interesting to see him, the change that he's actually meant to be the one who was meant to be Zod's father, but Segel, jumped the queue and did the naughty, and basically now Zod and Superman Zod's found out that Superman's actually his nephew, not the friend of the son of a friend. So yeah, that was a big change too, that really spun me out.
Yeah, it was great. I know we pretty much told you what happened now, but it's a great show. It really is a great show.
Man, if you haven't watched it, you've been told. We've told you for 3 weeks. Get on board this shit. Don't miss out.
Thanks, guys. I'm not watching it ever again.
And I've been meaning to say this every week, man. I'm telling you, when Lyta snapped that dude's neck, my shit was like, bing! I was like, ooh, I love her. Oh my god, that's what I felt. That was the most
into the kinky stuff.
Oh yeah.
What kind of stuff you into, man? Snapping necks. What else?
You saw them pictures I posted up earlier, right?
But now, listen, hey, we've got we've had our little rant, but now we've got to throw it over to the Star Wars boys, and our final and last topic, Boba. What are you expecting?
Wait, we just really quick before we move on to Star Wars, because I feel like that's going to be a big topic for us. just really quick, I know there was like a little news that made headlines in regards to The Walking Dead this week. So apparently, Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick Shaw, saying this is his final season in The Walking Dead. What do you guys think of that? Do you guys watch The Walking Dead?
I do, yeah.
What do you guys think of that? Thor, do you watch The Walking Dead?
I used to, but I stopped watching about 2-3 years ago. You know what I mean? They lost me a long time ago.
They lost you at the GOAT episode, didn't they, Thor?
No, but I ain't here.
Okay.
Repeat that, Jason.
Remember the GOAT episode with Morgan and the GOAT?
No, I don't think I saw that.
It was a whole episode where Morgan was learning the peaceful ways from the guy that gave him the stick in the bush.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, I saw that. I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh, that was a snooze fest.
Yeah, I saw that. Yes.
A lot of people turned off the show after that one.
Yeah, that was around time when I stopped watching.
Yeah. Well, Chris, what do you think, Chris? Are you still watching Walking Dead, or are you watching Walking Dead now?
No,
never got into it.
No. Thanks to Michael Jackson's Thriller and all the Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Wish You Were Dead, never
Wish You Were Dead.
All those shows, including I hate to say it, but what's the video game that
Resident Evil?
Yeah, Resident Evil. I mean, all those shows. I got so numb to all that I just could not. I mean, went out and saw Zombieland because one of my coworkers was huge into the zombie apocalypse stuff. I went and watched it, and okay, neat. And I moved on. I thought, okay, but a lot of people are really into that, and no discredit to them. It's just that's not me. So now they have TV shows, and of course now that my son is watching TV when we're watching like Star Wars, and all of a sudden like the zombie, commercial. I'm like, son, cover your eyes, and you've seen every way you can dismember a zombie or a person. It's just
I see how you roll, Chris. That's all right. You can watch the bikini girls dancing around in the Star Wars in the bar, but as soon as that zombie comes on, cover your eyes. Cover your eyes.
Well, I'm sorry. Is that wrong?
There's nothing wrong with that.
He's a good father.
Yeah, I think I'm doing right. I tried to, and I just couldn't get into it. I mean, with watching the new Battlestar Galactica, the Lost, all these things got to a point where you just couldn't do anymore. And I tried to watch one of the Walking Dead shows, and I was just like, okay, every episode is a new way to dismember a zombie, and I thought, I'm good.
Actually, I'll say one thing about it. The one thing that I did like, and I can see why this would probably be the last season of The Walking Dead, is because Fear the Walking Dead has become a far superior show. And they've actually intertwined the two now. Like Morgan's in Fear the Walking Dead, he's left The Walking Dead and gone south and hooked up with this group. But the storytelling, and it's become more about just survival rather than the zombies in the Fear the Walking Dead, which was what the entire show was about. But one thing I didn't like about The Walking Dead is because we were only following Rick's adventure, we picked it up 3 months after the fact. So the zombie apocalypse had already happened. At least in Fear the Walking Dead, you get to see it, the stages of it happening, first the police start losing control, there's rioting on the streets, then the hospitals start to fall. Most of the cops, as soon as they start to figure out what's going on, start grabbing the guns and supplies and taking off themselves. Then the National Guard comes in, and you've got blokes complaining, why are we here in the LA basin when we're from San Francisco? And the San Francisco guys, the LA basin guys are complaining the same about why they deployed there, but because of the regulations, you can't police your own area, and all this sort of stuff. So a lot of them are just going AWOL and leaving their posts in the middle of the night to get back to their families, and that's how it all starts to fall apart. And then you see like the military using big napalm bombs, bombing all the big cities and stuff like that, which just created more of them and, made it all fall apart. And then they go to like Mexico. So you see different things like that. There was even a scene where one time this guy's sitting on a boat and he's just mucking around with the radio. Hadn't had a working radio for months, and he's just going through. And because there's no radio chatter, there's no interference. And he actually picks up a Russian dude in the International Space Station, and he's telling him about how this isn't just in America, this is worldwide. You know, that Moscow's been burning for 3 months, you know, in a raging wildfire, and Europe's gone dark. He's had no contact for weeks from anybody. You know, and you're like, wow, okay. So it took it into a new dimension with that one, and I sort of like that one a bit better than The Walking Dead. But let's get into this movie, boys. You know, you guys are the Star Wars blokes, and I'd love to hear what you'd think about it.
Solo, yeah. Well, I think
no. Fett.
Fett. Oh, Fett.
What do you expect to see?
To be honest,
you've all been to see Solo. You've all been to see it. You've seen a taste of what they're doing with these other characters. Now, what are you expecting from Fett?
Well, I'm expecting a lot because Solo bombed pretty bad. And you know, in the box office, I think it only made like 80 million like domestically and 140 million worldwide. And their budget for this movie was like $500 million or something like that. And with that being said, it's on pace to actually not make budget, to lose money. So I know there's been some speculations with the movie being too close to The Last Jedi or whatever, but my honest opinion, I think it's because the Star Wars fans are backlashing with The Last Jedi. I think people are fed up with you know, Disney, Kathleen Kennedy kind of like screwing us over with, you know, with their agendas and the movies they want to see, and screw like the old school fan who created this universe, helped create this universe, should I say. And going back to Fett, yeah, I'm expecting a lot. I feel that in the next couple or months, there's going to be a lot of changes, especially with Solo being not doing so well. It's a good movie, but I expect Solo, Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi movie all to link in together. They're all going to be part of this, like, you know, Star Wars story trilogy. So I feel that
if that happens, PJ, do you think that would salvage where Star Wars is at the moment, or
if they start pushing this agenda of trying to cater to newer fans and I mean, which they should cater to all fans, not just newer fans, you know, please everyone, you know, and for example, Marvel Universe, I feel that caters to new fans and the old fans, right?
Yeah.
That's just a perfect example. Don't just segregate us and not care about us and just concentrate on newer fans just because we're diehard Star Wars fans.
They needed new movies because the comic books are shit.
Yeah, but you know, but I'm just saying, it's just that, like, I feel like in terms of the Boba Fett movie, I feel like Han Solo's going to make an appearance. He's probably Jabba's going to make an appearance. I feel that, you know, with them all being together, the Mandalorians is going to make an appearance. And I feel that it's going to take off where, you know, Boba Fett is by himself using his, you know, Slave One ship to go to Mandalore, get his arm, you know, change his dad's armor, because that's his dad's armor, right?
Yeah.
Jango Fett.
Yeah.
And, you know, just become a bounty hunter, you know, and go through all the trials and tribulations of becoming this broken man, becoming a bounty hunter. And I would like to see that happen. And I think most of it's going to probably happen in Tatooine. I don't know. Thor, what do you think?
Yeah, I've been waiting a long time. Now, this is going to be very interesting because, again, you know, this is the very first Star Wars movie ever that's going to be about a villain. You see what I mean? It's strictly about a villain. So I thought about it a lot. I'm thinking we probably going to see him. They start him off from an early age, like right when they were on Geonosis, and after Mace Windu kills his dad. You know what I mean? I was like, you know, how does he hold on to Slave One? He's this little kid. I mean, he was flying the ship while when they were running from Obi-Wan or whatever. I think he learns from like Dengar. That's the guy with the turban.
Yeah,
and he learns from him, and there's a bounty hunters guild and all that kind of
What,
stuff.
the toilet paper dude?
Yeah, him. Yeah, the guy. So it's gonna be a lot that they got to cover with him. So how does he link up with Jabba? And what you said, you brought up Jason, I think last week. Do the Mandalorians accept him because he is a clone? What I mean, even though he's not, tampered with anything, but he is a clone. Will they accept him or whatever? And maybe that's why he decided to become a bounty hunter, because his people wouldn't accept him because he's not a natural, whatever. So it's a lot of ways. If this movie is done right, this movie can be fantastic. It could be action packed. And I mean, again, the part of Star Wars we usually don't see with this, Jabba and the slave trade and spice and all that kind of stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm really hope. I mean, we got to find out that guy's name from Magnificent Seven, because we, that's who need to be Boba Fett. And I can't wait till they actually do cast him, so we'll find out who it's going to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and it's like, since he's the villain, who's the antagonist? You know what I mean? I thought about that too, but we'll see. But I'm really got high hopes for this movie, because I really thought it's way overdue to be made. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, you brought up a valid point there, Thor. Like, who's he going to be chasing? Who's going to be the guy that you root for him over the more evil person that he's hunting? Yeah. Chris, let's hear from Chris.
Hey guys, how you doing? Good evening.
I see the captain's kicking in.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, but with Mandalore, the clans, the bloodline is very, very strong. Mm-hmm. So Boba being a clone of Jango, doesn't matter how he was conceived. He is the bloodline of the Fett clan, and the Fett clan is obviously a clan of a bigger clan. So he's just fine. And in the legacy stories, I mean, he's a huge proprietor of getting Mandalore back up and running. But then, of course, a bioengineered, what do you call it? I can't think of the word now. The microscopic, what do you call it? The microscopic organisms that are made out of electronics and
rum.
Midichlorians.
No. Yeah, rum. Thanks. No, but the bioengineered weapon was dropped on Mandalore, so anybody that was genetically connected to the Fett clan could not land on Mandalore anymore, or they would be destroyed. So this bioweapon that was dropped prevented Boba Fett and his granddaughter from ever returning home. So because of that, even though he sent a lot of his money to the planet to rebuild, he still had to maintain being a bounty hunter, because that's how he made his money, and his name was well known. And because of his name, he was like a free agent. He could make his price, and people would pay it. So, and then of course he spent a lot of his portions to the planet, which is no longer canon, guys. But anyway, I honestly, because of all the different crime syndicates, because Boba Fett starts making lots of money with the Hutts and all that. You remember, you got Black Sun, you've got now thanks to Disney kind of hyping out Crimson Dawn. There's a few more crime syndicates that I'm trying to remember right now, but there's a lot of competition in the crime world, and I think Boba Fett, he is an awesome, and pardon my French, everybody, he's a badass bounty hunter. There's some other folks out there that would give him a run for his money, and if Disney decides to exploit that, it'd be an awesome action-packed, lots of explosions. Remember the fight on Camino with Obi-Wan and Jango. So imagine multiple fight scenes like that, the intense and weather and every single anomaly and interference and the weapons working, not working. And trust me, it's going to be freaking awesome. But they have to stop deviating from the damn storylines and just focus on what's there. Yeah, they can spice it up and make it their own, but the material is there. Obi-Wan, I mean, the Solo movie could have been far better and far more intense and far more entertaining if they stuck with all the books and comic books that surrounded all that. They touched on it. They didn't really stick with it. So first night, not so great. The next morning, I saw the movie as the way it was, and I was like, okay, this is great. I saw it with my son like 8 hours later, and he was laughing and having a great time and loved the movie. And from a 7-year-old point of view, it was a good movie. So, let it settle for a while. It's great, but I think Disney needs to separate the films. Give it 2 or 3 years in between each film. Let the hype and the storybooks and the comic books and the nerdnet and the novels, and just let it flood that way. And we're going to get back to what we're used to seeing. And that's in between the void, all these new opportunities fill in, and nerds like us will love to buy the books and read the comic books and check out the net and find out what's new. And it might be a glimmer of something that might not tell you much, but it's enough to hook you and keep you. And I feel like we're being flooded, and it doesn't help us. And yeah, you flood the market, what happens? You lose money. I think Solo is going to be the first proof of that. And did I like the movie? Not at first, but by the third time, I'm like, this is actually it's good. It's fun. It's a good family movie. It's not vulgar. But the way I would say it is, for those that haven't seen it yet, take Indiana Jones, Stargate, Dark Crystal, wrap it up into a Star Wars wrapper, and that's Solo movie. Mm-hmm. That is what it is. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and see it. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I mean, I want to just touch on what you said in regards to, them putting the movies close together and flooding the market. In a way, I kind of agree with you, but I don't. It's one of those things is that Solo, to me, Solo was a good movie. It took me a while to get to the point where I got past the fact that Alden is not Harrison Ford, and I believed him playing Solo towards the end of the movie. Like, he became Solo like towards the end. But in terms of the direction that they're going and overall what we're trying to focus on, I mean, Marvel. For an example, look at the Marvel movies. How many Marvel movies do we get every year?
Bingo. That's what I was gonna say.
There's never enough more. I mean, I'm eating it all up. I'm always going to the movie. I'm going to go watch Ant-Man. Why? Is because they're all kind of connected. They all have a plan. They all have a vision of where they want to be after 5 years, after 10 years.
See, I think you hit it on the head too, PJ, when you were saying, is there too many people that were too sour after The Last Jedi? Because, I mean, I've been to see every Star Wars movie since I was a kid at the movies. Mm-hmm. And I had no desire to go see Solo because I was still fresh in my mind of how shit The Last Jedi was.
Yeah, same. Like, this is like the first Star Wars movie that I only saw once in the movie theater. And my wife was shocked. She was like, "You don't want to watch it again with the kids?" I'm like, "Nah, I'll wait till Blu-ray." And usually, I mean, Force Awakens, I watched that 4 times. The Last Jedi I watched twice. It's just because I've already bought the second ticket, before I even watched the first showing.
I bet you didn't buy 2 tickets to Solo the first time you went to see it.
No, it's just one of those things. It's just, I don't know. I just didn't have the need to watch it again. It's a good movie. And I'm glad that Ron Howard was able to piece everything back together, even after it was 90% shot and had to be redone. And that's why they had such a big budget, because they spent so much money shooting 90% of the film to just scrap it and redo it all over again.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what the hell is going on in LucasArts, with Kathleen Kennedy? How could you shoot a movie 90% and re-scrap it? Why can't they go back to Rogue One, where they pleased the fans? They showed us Darth Vader and how he was menacing. They showed us like the air battles that we want to see. They showed us characters that we never saw, but we grown to love. K2SO was such a good droid. Was it L3? L3 was such an annoying droid. You know, what was she yelling about? Equal rights? Come on, man. You're adding political.
Rights? You're a bloody droid. You're built to serve. Deal with it.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's like a bigger agenda. Why are you adding political correct? I mean, what's that to my son? Equal rights.
But that's in the books too, guys. Just so you know, it actually takes place years in the future where the Solo grandchildren are dealing with that. They just moved it ahead. But yeah, L3 is a representation of, 40 to, maybe 80 years in the future. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, but for me, don't add it to. My son's gonna watch that. What's that? What do you mean? Be asking what do you mean by equal rights? Like, come on. Like, we go to the movies to escape life, to escape the like all that, and then to go to the movie to be bombarded. The first time when she mentioned it, it was funny about equal rights, but then she just kept on mentioning it throughout the whole movie, and I was just like, come on, man, this is kind of annoying, and that's just my opinion. I mean,
but she did serve one purpose, because something I always wondered about in Empire. Remember when Han he said, no, 3PO, I need you to talk to the Falcon and find out what's wrong. That when they took her brain processor or whatever it was and fused it with the Falcon, they said, oh, she's part of the ship now. So that explained, that's okay. So her personality or navigate, whatever it is part of the Falcon.
Well,
so that's
yeah,
why they
you
needed.
heard that the Falcon was temperamental, and I need you to sweet talk the Falcon and find out what's wrong with it.
Yeah. So I always wondered about that. I was like, what do you mean you got to talk to the Falcon? I was like, what the fuck? What the hell that supposed to mean? So then, that explained that. So like, okay, so that's her little one purpose that explains something that I always wondered about. But I understand what you're saying, as far as all that, equal right droids, equal right stuff. But
I mean, for me, it could have been like touched upon. Like, don't go throughout the whole movie and that's all her lines is like yelling about equal rights and.
Well, no, that didn't bother me as much as her and Lando got a relationship. Now that kind of pissed me off. You know what I mean?
What the?
That's what I said.
It works. Yeah. It works.
Yeah, that was like, what?
But hang on, it's not a sex droid.
Didn't you hear about what Disney announced, that Lando is pansexual?
Yeah,
like, you're ruining the character of this charismatic.
Yeah.
Like, charismatic ladies man, the bloke who sauntered his way through the galaxy and, hey baby, how you doing? And he can pick it up at anywhere. He's now pansexual, so he does it with robots, animals.
You know what pansexual means everything. Trees, animals, insects. What the heck?
Wow, man.
No, but this is what I'm talking about, is where are you going with this thing? Where are you taking Star Wars? This is my complaint. But anyway, back to Boba Fett. Yeah, I'm really excited. Jason, what do you think?
The next Cantina girl that you'll see will have Franken beans.
Oh boy, let's not go there. But yeah. Well, Jason, what do you think? I mean, I don't think we got your opinion about the Boba Fett movie.
Honestly, I just hate to see a lot of balls to the wall action. That's all I'm really hoping for a Boba Fett movie. And I think that's what made him so popular, that he was such a badass. You know what I mean? And I hope we get to see lots of disintegrations.
Yeah, I want to see all the bounty hunters. IG-88. Suckus, Dengar. I think
Bosk.
Bosk.
Aura Singh.
All of them.
Chris, if you want to see Bosk, I highly recommend watching the Robot Chicken Star Wars Adventures. And that way you can see the secret life of Bosk, and he's a bit James Bondish.
I'll check that out. But yeah, I mean, I think we're all excited, but we have our skepticism on the new movies that's coming out.
I've thought about three things. I mean, I know none of these are going to happen, but three things the way they can fix this division in the Star Wars world now. One, they can sell it back to Lucas. They could do that. They won't do it, but that's one thing. Two, they get rid of Kathleen Kennedy and get either Dave Filoni or somebody, and they reboot all this bullshit that they done already. Like they do, start over again. I don't know, Ray or whoever. You know what I mean? Or they just go for what they got and then see what happens. You know what I mean? Oh, you can't hear me?
No, we can hear.
No,
Okay. I don't know. We'll see. But really, I don't think nothing's gonna happen. But
But
I got high hopes.
I please, someone save Star Wars. I feel this division is really killing Star Wars, and I think the division of the fans, and Star Wars fans are hardcore.
You should start watching
And
Star Trek. Live long and prosper, PJ.
Don't.
Yeah, I know he tried to get me to watch that shit. I watch Krypton. I ain't watching no damn Star Trek.
Hey! I'm telling you now, boys. Don't let.
I know it is.
I'm a DC fan, right? But if someone tells me a Marvel movie's good, I'm the first one there to go see it. You know what I mean? Trust me when I'm telling you this. Star Trek Discovery is gold.
See, but this is the Hatfield and McCoy is here that you're talking about. You see, you watch no Star Trek.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What about you, Chris? What about you, Chris? Would you watch Star Trek Discovery?
I tried watching. I watched like the first episode, then they switched it to a different channel, and it was interesting. But I'm like, okay, where is this going? And like, oh, by the way, if you want to watch the rest of it, now you're gonna have to convert to this other channel. And I thought, well, no, that's not how this works. How about do a whole channel? How about do a whole season? And then go, hey, this is great. And then if you want to, kind of do a bait and switch, then do it that way. But the one season, I'm like, well, okay. So she kills a Klingon, and now she's on this plane or the ship, and you're like, now what? I'm like, all right, bye. So all right, cool. Yeah, don't do that kind of crap to us. Put it on a common channel that everyone has access to. You're gonna make more money that way. Now, obviously, you're making deals with channels. Then that's your own poison. That's
it's their own channel, without CBS All Access or something. Yeah.
Without your fans, you don't have a product, guys. So don't start getting in the weeds about who you want to be bed partners with. Just focus on getting your show out there to mass media. More people watch, the more money you're gonna make. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm gonna stop before I get on a rant. So there's enough people out there doing that.
I just want to make Star Wars great again. That's all I want.
I know you want Star Wars to be more like Star Trek, but until you get J.J. Abrams, it's not going to happen.
Well, then yeah. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. And you know what? Just to touch back what Thor said about Dave Filoni, and I know Jason, you didn't watch Rebels, correct?
No.
So there is an episode where they showed where they could actually go.
Hang on. Thor, you watch Discovery, I'll watch Rebels.
Man,
Oh man, that's
come on, man. I watch Krypton. I'm telling. Look. I put it to you like this. Now, look, you two can vouch for this. Rebels smokes this Kylo Ren bullshit. Man, Rebels is off the hook. I'm telling you, it is fantastic.
I watched the first two seasons.
I can't argue that. Oh
no. You need to watch the last two series. Oh, it's hardcore. People dying, every damn thing.
It's pretty much what we want to see from a Star Wars.
Right, exactly.
None of this.
The finale, whoo, man, I was staring at the wall for 2 hours after the finale. I'm telling you. Oh, it's cold.
I just want to give I sent a link on the chat, and I'll share it on the Collectitude. You guys have to watch it. It's Star Wars Theory.
Yeah.
I mean, what was he saying in regards to like character development? We want to see someone like a character, whether it be Rey, fail, and then rise up and conquer her fears and conquer. Yeah. It's something like, as human nature, we want to see that. We don't want to see someone who has unlocked the fucking Game Shark and Game Genie, and they have all these powers right away that they could lift rocks and fight against
PJ,
dark
you too can be a
Jedi
Jedi with 3 easy lessons, $29.95.
Exactly. I'm
But
sorry.
see, the problem is they don't have any communication either. You know what I mean? Because even J.J. Abrams came and said, well, I had a different plan for who Ray's parents were and all this other stuff. So it's like, okay, are these people communicating? Because you think about the Marvel stuff, they done gone through 10 years and all that stuff is connected, and they didn't have no problem.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I
right.
mean? But
Thor. They go, okay, you're the director of this movie. Now you need to put this in the film. But why?
Right.
You don't need to know. It just needs to be in there.
Yeah. So it's like, seriously, it's, I don't know, man. It's,
I mean, I'm sorry, guys. It's Friday night, and I'm hyped, man. It's just one of those things. I'm sorry, and I know this chat is a little bit longer. And shout out to whoever who's left watching, and
Yeah.
3 people left watching.
Yeah, shout out to you guys because
I think
We
it's
love
us.
So basically, yeah.
The 3 of us.
Oh no, we've got Adrian Gingy's.
Oh,
Adrian. But I'm just having fun with you guys, and it's just one of those things. Like, I hope they fix Star Wars. That's it. All right, well, let's wrap this this show up. Actually, I just want to ask Chris real quick. I know you have some cool Star Wars figurines you want to show off, Chris.
Yeah, I'll have to do that at a later showing because they're all over the place upstairs. But I know Jason had asked me, like, hey, we talk about statues, but we don't talk a lot about, action figures. And now action figures come in many different forms, from 2-inch, 2.5-inch to 3 3/4-inch to 6-inch to 7 and 8-inch to, it starts going up the scale to 18-inch to, was it 31-inch action figures?
That's what she said. That's kidding.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's just the variance.
Yeah, because look, guys, we're all collectors, but Chris has been collecting longer than any of us. I mean, he's still got pieces from the year I was born. So it gives you an idea about the sort of stuff that Chris can bring to the table, and we'd like to see a bit more of his stuff. So show us what you've got, Chris.
I know. And Jason wants to point out I'm older than everybody in the group. So thank you, Jason, for doing that. So
it's just an appreciation of the old wiseness of it all.
Yeah. I have been around for quite a while, but yeah, the action figures, if you look at the history, I mean, they've gone from, the 6 to 8 to the 12-inch back down to 3 3/4 because that was easy for kids to collect and all that stuff. And now as you've seen, the statues are getting huge. And but yeah, from 1977 to now, I have stuff in and out of the packages that kind of gives you an idea of just, how long I've been doing this. So I would love to show you guys, start doing like a show on, hey, okay, we're talking about statues, but what about the other guys that collect the action figures? And we have fans out there that collect the bobbleheads, and those are just as amazing as ever. They've gotten better. And there's so many different styles, not just Funko, but there's other companies out there that make really awesome bobbleheads that I think that look amazing. So I would love to do more about that too. I know we talk about statues, but action figure Jedi Chris, I mean, I have so much. I can talk about all the variances and the history and all the way up to now and where we're going. I won't do it now because I think we've talked enough for tonight.
Yeah, I know.
And it's all good. Don't get me wrong, but I would love to do a comparison from what they brought out back in the 70s and the 80s, 90s to now, and the detail and why it means so much now, and why the old stuff still has a strong hold and presence. But the newer stuff has better detail and more articulation, and the likeness is a lot more to the character than the old stuff. So, I would love to do that. And I think that moving forward, we shall add this to the show. We shall talk about the folks that collect figures.
Yeah.
And I would love to bring on folks that collect the bobbleheads and all the other different variances of collecting that, to me, enhance what we're all about, guys.
Yeah.
It's a collectitude, right? It's about your passion. It's about what you love to do, and what you collect. Like I said in the past, it emanates who you are.
Yeah.
And this is how we're moving forward, and I'm glad to be part of it.
I just want to just throw this out there before we all sign off. It doesn't matter whether you collect 3-inch or a quarter scale or 1-to-1 scale. Collecting is collecting.
Yeah.
That's
great.
Yeah.
And you know where I got that quote from? I got that from Fast and the Furious and just twisted it to collecting. Remember when Dominic Toretto was like, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
Oh, God.
Sorry. I know, a little Fast and Furious quote there. No one's laughing? God, I thought of that just now.
Yeah, I know. Inch and a mile. That's your story, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's not about okay. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap this up. I just want to say thank you guys for bearing with us. It's just one of those things. I think we all had a long week. I just want to say thank you to Chris, Jason, Thor. This is an awesome show. There will be more shows in the future, in the upcoming weeks. And thank you guys for watching. Please check us out on Facebook and in Gemmer. The links are in the description below in YouTube. And wow, nice, Thor, as he shows off his Lego Star Wars. That's awesome.
Oh,
That's
very
cool.
nice.
So, guys, don't have an attitude, have a collectitude. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
See ya.
Hallelujah.
guys.
Holla back.